that time I got reincarnated as a slime, there are special top tier powers called ultimate skills. Among these are the demonic ultimate skills known as the 7 Deadly Sins series, a set of 7 incredibly powerful abilities, each based on one of the classical deadly sins. These 7 Deadly Sin skills were created as counterparts to the 7 heavenly virtues in the angelic ultimate skill series. In other words, each demonic sin skill mirrors an angelic virtue skill and power. I'll briefly note that those angelic counterparts as we go, and we'll cover them in the virtue series in a follow-up video. For now, let's stick to the canon information from the light novel, the manga, and the anime. No web novel will be covered, and a breakdown of each of the 7 Deadly Sin skills in the ultimate series, who uses them and what they do in a straightforward way. There's Prideful King Lucifer, the ultimate skill of pride; Wrathful King Satanael, the ultimate skill of wrath; Gluttonous King Beelzebuth, the ultimate skill of gluttony; Slothful King Belphegor, the ultimate skill of sloth; Lustful King Asmodeus, the ultimate skill of lust; Greedy King Mammon, the ultimate skill of greed; Envious King Leviathan, the ultimate skill of envy. Each of these 7 has its own wielder and unique abilities. Now let's dive into each one. Prideful King Lucifer, Guy Crimson's ultimate skill. Guy's personal unique skill Pride evolved into the ultimate skill Lucifer, Lord of Pride, after an intense battle with the true dragon Belzar. This evolution gave Guy one of the most fearsome abilities in the series, befitting the sin of pride. Lucifer's defining power is complete skill replication. It allows Guy to copy or reproduce any ability that he has witnessed once. Essentially, if Guy sees you use your power, he can mimic it and make it his own, an incredibly prideful ability that asserts he can do anything his opponent can do and more. Thanks to Lucifer, Guy has a whole arsenal of sub-skills at his disposal, from elemental magic, complex abilities, including even absorbing lesser ultimate skills into his own repertoire. This makes Guy extremely versatile and nearly impossible to surprise in battle. Because of this, he was also able to copy Beelzebuth from Rimuru, that time that he saw Rimuru use it once against Clayman at the first Walpurgis that Rimuru attended. Wrathful King Satanael, Milim Nava's ultimate skill. Milim possesses the ultimate skill Satanael, Lord of Wrath. As one of the oldest and strongest demon lords, it's implied that she had this skill for ages, awakened by the immense rage and grief that she experienced from her past. Satanael is the personification of wrath, and it thrives in Milim's anger. The core ability of Satanael is often described by Milim's trademark move, Magical Breeder Reactor. This power literally allows Milim to have near infinite stamina, as she can suck in more Magicules when she spends it, basically refilling her up. Satanael causes her Magicules or magical energy to multiply explosively, similar to a nuclear reactor gone wild, meaning that she won't run out of power no matter how much she fights. This makes her virtually unstoppable when enraged, as she can keep firing off huge attacks endlessly. Satanael also has a self-activating berserk mode called Stampede, which takes over Milim if her wrath reaches its peak, driving her into an uncontrollable destructive frenzy. In short, Wrathful King Satanael makes Milim a one-woman apocalypse with infinite stamina as long as her fury burns. Gluttonous King Beelzebuth, Rimuru Tempest's ultimate skill. Rimuru acquired Beelzebuth, Lord of Gluttony, during his evolution into a demon lord at the Harvest Festival. His original unique skill Gluttony, which let him eat almost anything, transformed into this ultimate skill with the help of the wise partner skill Raphael, at the cost of sacrificing another skill called Merciless. The result was one of Rimuru's most notorious powers, embodying the insatiable hunger of the sin Gluttony. Beelzebuth is essentially the ultimate skill devouring ability. It allows Rimuru to consume and absorb absolutely anything, matter, energy, magic, even intangible things like space or concepts can be eaten. When Rimuru activates Beelzebuth's predation effect, a black void, often in the form of a sphere or mouth-like portal, envelops the target and chomp whatever it is, it gets swallowed into Rimuru's stomach dimension. He can digest what he eats, analyze it, and even acquire properties or skills from the thing he devoured. This means Beelzebuth not only removes obstacles, literally eating or obstacles whole, but also lets Rimuru grow stronger by feasting on them. It's described as having an insatiable hunger. There's basically no limit to what Rimuru can absorb given enough time. For example, Rimuru has actually used Beelzebuth to devour colossal enemies and even abstract magical attacks, turning them into energy for himself. It's a terrifying power that ensures whatever stands against Rimuru ends up as lunch. Slothful King Belphegor, Dino's ultimate skill. Dino awakened Belphegor, Lord of Sloth, as his ultimate skill during the battle in Ramirez's dungeon. It evolved from his unique skill, Sloth, when he was pushed into a serious fight against the dungeon's forces, more specifically Bereda's Eta, and Apito. Belphegor perfectly matches Dino's slothful personality. It's all about inducing lethargy and spiritual domination. Belphegor grants absolute domination over those with intellect and emotion, essentially mind and soul manipulation on a massive scale. It allows Dino to make his targets extremely lazy, unmotivated, or even force them into eternal sleep or death. One of Belphegor's frightening techniques is called Phalan Catastrophe, a powerful hypnotic effect that lulls all living targets into deep sleep from which they can't awaken, eventually causing their life functions to cease. Even strong-willed individuals struggle to resist this, as it isn't as simple of an illusion but a law-bending curse that pushes being towards inactivity and oblivion. Dino can dial the effect down to simply make enemies drowsy or apathetic, or crank it up to literally make them give up on living. Another sub-skill, Fallen Thanatos, sends out invisible waves that targets the overwhelming despair and fatigue, breaking their will to fight or live, and even destroying them physically if they're weak-minded. In short, Belphegor weaponizes ultimate laziness. Dino can put opponents to sleep, sap their willpower, or bore them to death in a very literal sense. This makes him a deceptively dangerous foe. While he looks like he's slacking off, you might just suddenly feel too tired to go on and collapse on a whim. Lustful King Asmodeus, Luminous' Valentine's ultimate skill. Luminous' unique skill Lust evolved into the ultimate skill Asmodeus, Lord of Lust. Under dramatic circumstances, it awakened after the death of her close friend and sometimes rival, Hinata Sakaguchi. In her grief and love for Hinata, Luminous unlocked Asmodeus. This skill may be named after lust, but it manifests as an intense dominion over life and death, which can be seen as a twisted form of desire, the desire to protect or reclaim the lives of those dear to her. Asmodeus grants Luminous the ability to command the cycle of life and death. In practical terms, Luminous can see and manipulate the life force of others using this skill. One primary subskill is life domination, which lets her exert control over target's vital energy. She can snuff out a person's life with a mere thought, or conservatively preserve and even resurrect someone by rechanneling their life force. In this story, Luminous uses Asmodeus in an attempt to save Hinata's life, demonstrating the merciful side of lust. The ironic twist where lust, normally thought of as selfish and desire, used in compassion to protect someone she cares for. But make no mistake, Asmodeus can be used offensively as well. Luminous can instantly stop an enemy's heart or kill them outright if she so desires. She also has a technique called Memories and Requiem. This targets souls directly and can obliterate undead or spiritual beings, and Rebirth, which, as the name suggests, can restore life under certain circumstances. Essentially, Lustful King Asmodeus makes Luminous a master of life and death, a terrifying power wrapped in a beautiful vampiric package. Greedy King Mammon, Yuki Gagarasaka's ultimate skill. Yuki obtained Mammon, Lord of Greed, as his ultimate skill when his unique skill Greed evolved after a crushing defeat by Gi Crimson. True to the sin of greed, Mammon makes Yuki into an abilities thief and energy hoarder, always seeking more power to claim as his own. Mammon allows Yuki to steal just about anything of value from others. He can absorb life energy, magic, and even steal skills from his opponents. For instance, one sub-skill, Absorb Life, lets Yuki drain the enemy's energy, even their lifespan, and strengthen himself. More terrifying is Skill Steal, which, as the name implies, enables Yuki to rob an opponent of their skill or abilities to make them his own. If Yuki fights someone with a powerful technique, Mammon lets him snatch that power for himself, leaving the opponent weakened. There are limits, however. Ultimate skills that are deeply engraved in a person's soul, their heart core, can't be stolen outright, so Yuki can't just yoink someone's ultimate ability in an instant. However, unstable or lesser skill are fair game. He also has Control Heart, which manipulates the target's emotion and memories to dominate them, an upgraded version of a mind control trick used by another character, Maribel. In essence, Mammon turns Yuki into a one-man armed stealer. Taking whatever power he fancies, the more greedy and ambitious he is, the more effective this skill becomes. Yuki's usage of Mammon in the story makes him one of the most dangerous foes, since he can neutralize the strength of his enemies by stealing them. Envious King Leviathan. Velsar's ultimate skill, Velsard, awakened Leviathan, Lord of Envy, as her ultimate skill in the midst of intense jealousy and emotional turmoil. In the light novels, Velsard grows envious, particularly regarding the bond between her brother and others, or the attention of Gi Crimson. And that envy triggers the birth of this ultimate skill. Leviathan is the embodiment of the sin of envy, and it specializes in making others weaker so Velsard can remain on top. The essence of Leviathan is degradation of an opponent's abilities based on the user's power. power. In simple terms, Velsard uses Leviathan to level the playing field in her favor by nerfing the enemy's strength. If Velsard is stronger and has an advantage, Leviathan will magnify that gap by diminishing the enemy's abilities or energy. For example, if an opponent unleashes a powerful magic, Leviathan can cause that magic to weaken or fall apart in the face of Velsard's own aura. It's like a force comparison that says, whatever you can do, I can do better, and I'll make sure to show you. One known subskill is Absorb, Whiteout Absorb, which allows Velsard to absorb and nullify another's magic or attack, downgrading their effect to nothing. Essentially, Leviathan takes the envy Velsard feels to desire to surpass someone or not be outdone, and makes it a reality by suppressing the target's capabilities. In her battle with Guy, for instance, Velsard hides the fact that she has Leviathan, subtly using it to weaken Guy's copied abilities so that he can't easily overpower her. It's a more tactical ultimate skill than some of the others, but in the hands of a true dragon like Velsard, it's devastating. It ensures that no one can outshine Velsard in her presence because Leviathan won't allow anyone's power to eclipse her own. We've now covered the 7 deadly sins ultimate skills in the Tensura series: Pride, Wrath, Gluttony, Sloth, Lust, Greed, and Envy, along with their users and abilities as revealed in the light novel. Each of these ultimate skills is extraordinarily powerful, embodying a fundamental desire or passion, and they often reflect the personalities of the wielders. These demonic skills were created as dark counterparts to the 7 virtual type ultimate skills of the Angel system. For example, Guy's Lucifer Pride directly contrasts the angelic Uriel, Lord of Vows or Humility, and Milim's Wrath is the opposite of the angelic Justice Michael, and so on. The sin and virtual skills are 2 sides of the same coin in the world of Tensura, equal in strength but born of opposing cosmic principles. In the next video, we'll flip that coin and dive into the 7 heavenly virtual ultimate skills, the angelic series, the shining counterpart to the demonic sins. These include powers like wisdom, purity, justice, and more, wielded by the likes of angels and heroes in the story. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in how other half of this ultimate skill system works. For now, you should have a solid understanding of the Deadly Sin series. Each ultimate skill in the Sin series is a game changer, and when characters like Rimuru, Milim, and others bring those powers into play, it's clear why they're considered the pinnacle of abilities in the Tensura's universe. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, check out the channel for other videos regarding Tensura and other anime related stuff, and let me know in the comment section what you think about these.